Imagine buying a brand new bookshelf, except you don't actually take it back home. You take a flat box filled with wooden panels, screws, hinges, and an instruction manual. And then you spend the next 3 hours assembling the entire thing yourself. If any other furniture company asked you to do that, you'd probably wonder why you paid them in the first place. So why has IKEA built one of the world's biggest furniture companies by asking millions of customers to do exactly that? At first glance, the answer seems simple. It's cheaper. But every company wants to reduce costs, so why did IKEA take this idea further than anyone else? The answer is hidden in the philosophy of the person who built it, Ingvar Kamprad. Ingvar Kamprad didn't grow up in a wealthy city or in a family of furniture makers. He grew up in Småland, a rural region in southern Sweden, where resources were scarce and the land was difficult to farm. People couldn't afford to waste anything. If there was a cheaper, simpler, or smarter way of doing something, they found it. Resourcefulness wasn't considered innovation, it was simply a way of life. And these values stayed with Kamprad for the rest of his life. Then later, while studying business in Gothenburg, Kamprad attended lectures on Taylorism, the scientific approach to improving efficiency in manufacturing. One idea immediately caught his attention. Factories were becoming incredibly efficient at producing goods, but the moment those goods left the factory, that efficiency disappeared. Warehousing, transportation, distribution, every step added cost. As Kamprad later questioned, why are we so rational on the production floor, but so sluggish on the last stage to the customer? He realized that the biggest opportunity wasn't inside the factory, it was between the factory and the customer. In fact, he later said that it was during these lectures that he decided his future would be in distribution. If he wanted to build a successful business, he wouldn't simply make better products. He would build a better way of getting those products to people. That insight led him to start importing products from different manufacturers and eventually laid the foundation for IKEA. Years later, when IKEA entered the furniture business, Kamprad wasn't trying to reinvent furniture itself. He was trying to reinvent how furniture reached customers. And so, IKEA's mission became simple. Create well-designed, functional furniture at prices so low that as many people as possible could afford it. And once you understand that philosophy, asking customers to assemble their own furniture no longer seems like a strange decision. It becomes the logical outcome of a man who believed that every unnecessary step between the factory and the customer was an opportunity to create value. So now we understand why IKEA thinks differently. But having a philosophy is one thing, and actually making it work is something else. So the next question is, how did IKEA turn this philosophy into one of the world's most successful furniture businesses? The answer lies in something every business has, but very few people ever notice: the value chain. Every product follows a journey before it reaches your home, and every step in that journey adds cost. Let's take a traditional furniture company. The manufacturer builds the furniture. Then it's completely assembled. It's transported to a warehouse, stored until it's needed, moved to a retail store, and finally delivered to your home. Every one of these steps requires people, vehicles, warehouses, equipment, and time, which means every one of these steps costs money. And eventually, all of those costs are built into the price you pay. Now here's where IKEA thought differently. Instead of assembling the furniture at the factory, they redesigned the furniture itself. Every product was designed to fit inside a compact, flat-pack box. Now suddenly, the same truck could carry far more furniture. Warehouses could store far more inventory. Retail stores needed much less space, and so transportation became cheaper. Storage became cheaper. Handling became easier. But IKEA didn't stop there. They looked at the last stage of the value chain, assembly. Traditionally, the company does the work. IKEA asked, what if the customer could do this step instead? Now, instead of paying the furniture company to assemble every table, wardrobe, and bookshelf, customers assembled it themselves. And here's the interesting part. IKEA wasn't simply removing value, it was removing cost. Because every cost they eliminated was a cost they didn't have to charge their customers. Instead of keeping those savings as higher profits, IKEA passed a significant portion of them back through lower prices. And that's how the entire business model comes full circle. The customer contributes a little more effort. IKEA dramatically reduces costs across its entire value chain. And in return, millions of people get access to well-designed furniture that they otherwise might not have been able to afford. Suddenly, asking customers to assemble their own furniture doesn't seem like an inconvenience. It becomes a logical consequence of IKEA's philosophy, a philosophy that has remained remarkably consistent for more than 80 years. But there's still one question left. If IKEA shifted part of its own work onto customers, why were customers willing to accept it? Because let's be honest, most of us don't dream of spending a Saturday afternoon assembling a bookshelf. If another furniture company asked you to pay for a product and then build it yourself, you'd probably wonder why you were paying them at all. So why didn't IKEA customers react the same way? The answer lies in a simple psychological idea. As consumers, we rarely evaluate effort in isolation. We evaluate whether the exchange feels fair. Think about it. Imagine paying thousands of dollars for a luxury dining table, and then being asked to spend 3 hours assembling it yourself. Most people would feel cheated. Not because the work is difficult, but because the exchange feels unfair. Now imagine the opposite. You're buying a well-designed bookshelf at a fraction of the price of traditional furniture. The company is transparent about why it's cheaper. You carry it home, you assemble it yourself. In return, you save a significant amount of money. Suddenly, the same effort feels completely different. It doesn't feel like unpaid labor. It feels like a fair trade. And that's exactly what IKEA understood. The company wasn't asking customers to work for free. It was redesigning the exchange. Instead of saying, "We'll do everything and charge you more," IKEA offered a different proposition. You contribute a little more effort, we'll make good design affordable for millions more people. As long as customers believed that the value they received justified the effort they invested, the model worked remarkably well. But here's where the story becomes even more interesting. That perception wasn't universal. When IKEA first entered Japan in the 1970s, the exact same business model struggled. Not because the furniture was poor, and not simply because the prices were wrong. The problem was that customers interpreted the exchange differently. In Japan, exceptional customer service has long been an integral part of the shopping experience. Delivery, convenience, care. These weren't considered premium extras. They were part of what customers expected when purchasing furniture. So asking customers to transport the furniture home and assemble it themselves didn't feel like a reasonable trade-off. For many people, it felt like poor service. The business model hadn't changed. The customers had. Or, more accurately, their expectations had. Years later, when IKEA returned to Japan, it didn't insist that customers adapt to IKEA. IKEA adapted to its customers. It redesigned products for smaller Japanese homes, expanded delivery services, and adjusted its product range. Instead of forcing one universal business model onto every market, IKEA recognized that perceived fairness depends on context. And that's the real lesson. People don't simply evaluate products, they evaluate exchanges. They constantly ask themselves, what am I giving? What am I getting in return? When that exchange feels fair, people willingly participate. When it doesn't, even the smartest business model can fail. And that's perhaps IKEA's greatest innovation. It didn't just redesign the furniture industry, it redesigned the relationship between the company and the customer. Instead of creating value for the customer, it invited the customer to help create that value with the company. That's all for today's thought experiment. If this analysis gave you a new way of thinking, consider subscribing for more explorations into business, behavior, and psychology. Until next time, stay curious.